Okay, so the next thing that we should go over is how to make sure that your goals are set up properly, both on your website and in Google Analytics. I'm going to walk you through basically what that means, and my dog is going to help. Hello, Precious. Who's Precious? You're Precious. So what a goal is basically it's an action that you want somebody to take. It could be inquiring with you, that's usually the main one that people use, or signing up for a newsletter or something like that. The best way to set that up on your website is to set it up so that when people complete an action that you want them to take, it takes them to a separate web page, and I will explain why. But first I want to show you what that looks like. So going to one of my websites here, I have a contact page, and there's a form here that people can fill out. Once they finally get to the end of it, because it's a two-parter, they click submit. Once they have a successful form submission, they're taken to a thank you page of a silly video that I did. But basically you can see that the URL here on the actual contact page is different than the actual thank you page. Now, some forms are set up that it only shows a confirmation message, so that it says something like thank you for getting in touch or something like that. What you want is to have it forward to a separate web page. And the reason for that being, it will go over in a couple minutes. The best way to do that is to check your website's confirmation options. Some of them will give you the option to have a separate submission page, and some won't, but ideally you want one that does. For WordPress, I recommend the plugin Gravity Forms, because then you can set it up to forward to a separate page at the end of any successful form submission. For other website platforms like Squarespace and Wix, it's really going to depend on what's available to you, but do some looking to see what options that you have. Okay, so now we've talked about what it is and how it works. We want to talk about why it's important. So going back to Google Analytics here, I'm at the Google Analytics homepage. So what I want to do now is set up a goal that basically tells Google Analytics that someone has taken the steps that I want them to take. In this case, and for this example, it is using my contact form to inquire with me. So basically what I want to do is tell Google Analytics that this is a successful action. So what I'm going to do is go to admin, and from here I'm going to go to goals. I already have this goal set up in my account, but I'm going to walk through what it would look like as if I was setting it up for the first time. So I would go to new goal. I'm going to actually do custom. I just generally prefer to do custom because I don't like the default settings that it gives me. So I'm going to click custom. But don't worry, that doesn't necessarily make it hard. So I'm going to do successful inquiry. If this was a goal that you had set up that was indicating someone signed up for a newsletter, you could call it something like newsletter sign up. Goal slot ID, don't worry about that too much. So what type is this? So this is a destination, meaning that somebody goes to a specific web page or a specific URL destination. There are other types of goals that you can have, such as a duration goal. Sometimes you want to mark people that are on your site for specific periods of time, people who visit a certain number of pages and screens per session, or even an event like playing a video. And you'll see that there's little prompts here that can kind of help you as well. Smart goals I'm not worried about because I'm setting this up manually, so I'm not going to go over it. But for this purpose, my goal is a destination because we want it to mark any time that someone lands on that thank you page. So I'm going to click continue. Goal URL, so I'm going to grab the URL here. And go and put it here. Value, so if you have a value attributed to any time someone gets in touch with you, you can add it. If you have a specific funnel set up, in other words, you have specific actions you need somebody to take before it's considered an actual goal completion, like they need to go to the contact page first and fill out a specific form or a form on a different URL specifically, you can do that as well. Most websites for most small businesses will be pretty simple, so generally speaking, you won't have to worry about funnels. So if that little explanation didn't make sense, really don't worry about it too much. Same with value. If it's an inquiry, finding out the value will be a little bit more difficult. So if there isn't an obvious value right away with every inquiry, then you can just leave that off. There's no reason that you absolutely have to have it. So again, if those didn't quite make some sense, that's okay. They're a little bit more advanced things where if you're just starting out, they're not something to worry about too much. I just wanted to give a little bit of information of what they are. So from there, I would hit save. I'm not going to because this goal is already set up. So I'm going to hit cancel and it says, do I want to discard? And I'm going to hit OK. So that's what it looks like then when it's done and you have it properly set up. And it'll give you a little bit of information here, like what type of goal it is, how many there have been in the last 7 days. And you can even toggle different goals on and off over here if you want. But anyways, that's how to set up a goal properly on your or for your Google Analytics account. And then this setting it up properly will help you track various things later on, which we will talk about in one of the upcoming videos.